My tastes as an actor don't always correlate to my taste as an audience member. I've read films that I didn't want to spend 3 or 4 months of my life around.
Alpha Mark. Bravo Mark.
But I actually can't wait to spend 2 hours watching it.
Action! And then 1, 2!
This, there was a correlation, which was really cool.
We just put Collins through the works every single day. He was just a complete pro. I was very amazed. That's where the stunt crew, everybody.
When you come to work on something like this, you get technically schooled in certain practical things that you would never experience. I would never experience in life if I wasn't doing exactly this job.
And for this angle, we're going to start with the camera down there, so you'll follow through there.
The physicality of this movie has been pretty insane.
As much as we would allow him to do, he would do.
A couple of friends who read the script were like, wow, you're going to be at the end of this.
Ready and action!
And I thought, I don't really see it. I mean, I know there's some scenes and stuff, but yeah, I'm pretty beat in a good way.
I guess that's a cut.
One thing I talked about early on, to make this work, the movie exists in your POV because there's a version of this movie that is entirely a dream. You don't dream outside of your own POV. You're in this movie every single day.
And action!
He's inspiring to watch work, constantly doing something different, surprising me, wanting to push himself.
He's incredibly committed, he's incredibly prepared. He works in a way that I feel very comfortable and very familiar with.
He's also just fun. It's enjoyable to spend every day literally stuck in a car with him or jumping from a roof of a building on a wire.
Okay, here we go, thank you. 3, 2, 1, action!
This was an actor's role because so much was being told without dialogue, but also it was a physical role of an athlete, a stuntman. He really had to embody this character who was great at all.
And action!
I was talking to him the other day, and he went back into his trailer, and when he came back out, I thought, now there's a movie star. Here's a guy who's been working on this for nearly 4 months. In good spirits, the entire crew loves him, as well as the fellow actors.
And action! Oh, yeah.
He sets a tone, he sets an example, which is great, much appreciated by everybody.
Ready to go? Here we go.
Any action sequence has to tell its own story rather than just being a bunch of explosions. An action scene has to have its first, second, and third act. So that's always my first goal. What is the new action story that I can put together that I haven't seen?
If you look at the previs for this fight sequence, Colin is sitting in the tripping den chair. The federal police break through and they basically shoot everybody but him. And in a split second begins this fight sequence. And what you'll see in the film is basically 7 camera moves. So the cameras kind of wrap around, ones wrap around again, then they go up over the balcony, and they come back down into a close-up, and now he shot everybody. It's a transitional moment in the film.
Wait! We really hit the ground running. That was a huge scene to start with. You have this conceptual understanding of the character, but you have to kind of get up and move and walk in his shoes. We had a little bit of rehearsal on this, but it ain't theater, you know. But it was good, it was okay because I could find out through movement, through the action, who he was a bit.
And action!
What's really going on with this science fiction concept? It's surface memory that is coming back, and certain things will trigger it. You're faced with this problem and suddenly a solution arises. You don't even know how you did it. It's solved. I did it, killed 5 men. No idea how I did that.
The lens idea is to make the fight seamless so that you feel there's no break in Colin's action.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go.
I wanted to feel like he didn't have a chance to catch his breath. That it kind of picks you up, you go through it, and then it's done, and whew, and then you can gasp. I want that experience, and how do I photograph it that way?
I figured we had to do it with a series of super sliders.
I'd worked with the super sliders before. A lot of times for car chases, it's one set of truss that runs like 30 miles an hour.
3, 2, 1.
When the shot starts, the camera's going 20 feet a second. Another camera starts and crosses over, picks it up on a match frame, and now that's going 20 feet a second. Another one crosses over, so they end up in these very high-speed camera moves. Basically, operators were just chasing the frame because it's a very fast move.
It was fun just to watch. To see how the rigs were working was almost as cool as what the scene looks like for the character and what I wanted people to experience through him at that time.
Three, 2, 1, go! And that's great. Cut that.
It's doing stuff in camera, which is certainly much more fun for us. The tripping den was all practical explosion and reaction and drop.
This bookcase is laying on a dead man that has a bunch of hand grenades stacked over it. Lead actor puts another grenade underneath. They all explode. The bookcase jumps and it makes the floor collapse. So his escape route out of here is through the floor.
Okay, guys, we're shooting. Gun firing and squibing. Very quiet, please. Bravo, Mark. Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go! Oh! Hey, I cut. There we go.
Boom, explodes.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait to make sure that through the dust and everything, we can also see that it's happened.
Yeah.
Hopefully time's out right around the same time.
I think it probably should. I think I should probably wait, just till all the percussion is done with and run.
Everything used to be huge fireballs. It gets boring and people get used to it and they go, another movie explosion.
I don't want to see anybody from that corner to this corner. All they should be clear, but the people really need to be there.
Unfortunately, through IEDs and stuff, we've seen what real explosions are because you see them on the news all the time, and that was something you usually only saw them in the movies.
Ready, 2, 1, go!
They used a lot of bone black and smaller fires, and it was a breakaway glass that was right above him. We shot that with air, and that's supposed to be the blast wave from that big flash you see. We did some deck tests of how fast that would travel, so it was pretty accurate as to what would really happen if it was a full explosion that size.
Ready, and action! Action.
I have never played a bad guy before. I've never played a villain.
And then wait for him to lock up your arm before you play that.
Longer even that.
And longer in the lockup. Yeah, and try to hold her in that for 1, 2, for a good 3 beats. Copy that. Great.
If I've done a movie that requires fighting or action, or whatever, I've always been on the side of truth and justice.
And action.
And even though my character thinks that she is on the side of truth and justice, there's a kind of slightly maniacal leer. She's slightly out of control in her feelings, and that's always fun for an actor to play. By the way, you haven't even begun to see me try to kill you.
Great, and cut. And we cut.
Laurie, Kate Beckinsale, is not only a top operative in the sense of self-defense, but she's got the right mindset, believes in the system, and is a good soldier. The benefit that she has over other soldiers is that she happens to be gorgeous. So Cohagen realizes that Laurie is a wonderful lure. Just set her out there and have her wiggle her tail, and everybody's gonna follow.
And action.
I have to go.
Go where? We found it kind of fun to make her American when she was nice and English when she was horrible, just because we can. 6 weeks ago, I didn't even know you. I love the fact that she flips from being this very sweet, concerned wife into this killing machine in the space of a second.
Ready, and action.
Now. Earlier, and then we're still overshooting a little bit too much.
Ready.
And now.
Oh, I came sideways. Oh, that wasn't me.
Very ladylike.
And now.
What the? That was a weird set off. Sorry. Sorry about that. Sorry, everyone.
At least it's continuity. Your car's gonna be the same exact. Giving you that extra 6 inches at the end as well.
Ready, and action.
3, 2, 1, go.
Good.
One of the big differences in the earlier film is that part is much bigger in our version of the movie.
I just got the call. We've all been put on standby.
I don't understand.
What?
We tried to take a little more time in the beginning. We tried to make that relationship feel genuine and real. So we were looking for somebody who could really do both. And Kate's such a wonderful actress that she's able to play these scenes with Colin where you really feel like they're a couple, you really feel like they're in love, you really feel like she cares about him and wants to take care of him.
And action.
But she also has the other speed, which is when you flip the switch, and she's this incredible kick-ass villain.
I think every man would probably admit that there lurks a monster inside his wife. You know, once in a month or once in a while.
Ready, and background action.
The challenge in doing a lot of the pyrotechnics on location. We were at the Toronto Convention Center, for instance, and when I asked them, would it be possible for us to blow out all their windows in their ceremonial entrance, they were a little hesitant.
That's probably the most difficult thing in some of these prestigious places.
So you're popping through here, bum, 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 bum.
To assure them that indeed they will get their place back in the same condition. They were great. They were great to work with.
How many charges you got here?
Almost 40 different events. Probably take about 6 seconds. And it'll all be done. Beautiful.
3, 2, 1, fire!
We managed to do that by placing our pieces of glass in front of their pieces of glass.
We didn't disturb their windows at all. We sat 6 inches in front of them, brought our own glass in, and then sequentially destroyed that.
Great job, guys. It's awesome.
3, 2, 1, fire!
71 Mama, take 1.
Ready, and action.
Great. Okay, good.
And action.
If they'll allow it, I'd absolutely do stunts. I enjoy it, number one. I think it's fun. I like being physical. I like the challenge. It helps me emotionally. I'm a very sort of tactile, physical person. And those kind of stunts or activities help me very much to get into the scene.
Yeah, she's physical. Ooh, man, she's tough. When we started working, we're in one of these big studios, the next thing I hear, and it sounds like someone's getting an almighty beating. And I look over my shoulder, and it's John, who's a 32-year-old martial artist, and he has the mitts like this. And Jessica Biel is just hell for leather, man, with incredible form.
She's a rebel leader, so we needed a tough chick who you would believe would lead the resistance into battle. And you can't think of anybody better than Jessica Biel to do that.
You never really understand fully how much physicality a role will be when you read a script like this. You talk to Len, you see the visuals, you see the previs, it looks incredible, the world's going to be amazing looking, you just want to be a part of it. And I think, yeah, of course, I can do anything he wants me to do. I'm not afraid of it. I'm excited about it. I love that kind of stuff. It's not till you get there 2 months or 3 months in and you're dinged up and bruised and just constantly soaking wet and tired do you really realize, wow, this is a lot.
I'd never really seen her do the strong female action role where she was the one that was in the driver's seat of it. You know, I've seen her in action movies where she's kind of on the outskirts of being that person, but I thought it'd be great to see her in that kind of role.
Okay, let's load up to go again, guys. Thank you. Can we have the elevator, please?
I couldn't have enjoyed anybody more than I did Jessica, working with her every day. I don't need to feel like I'm the center of it. So I split the center, or she splits it with me. I felt like I had a partner with Jessica every day on the set.
I think there's a different energy and experience when you see it's actually them.
Okay. Okay. It's just gotten very small. That's good.
I specifically designed the action and the shots to make sure that after that big stunt happens, you see that it's Colin Farrell before he runs off.
And 3, 2, 1, action!
And a lot of times I'll talk to him and say, that looked fantastic. I know it hurt, it looked painful. Can you please do it again? And when you're done, look over here.
And 3, 2, 1, action!
Alpha Bravo comment.
Oh, the light. Who's light come on?
Charles, who has the light on the watch?
It's not a watch. We're not going through this again. It's time for a bomb that's going to save the world.
The new one is coming.
Colin Farrell and I will get into a big fight as actors. Yeah. And then as characters, we also fight.
And in case when I'm pulling him and I drag him over, I come up with his wig in my hand. Do we want to play that as a possibility? Or do we want to... That's one funny. He makes me laugh. So the first one, okay.
Because of the fact that Colin Farrell is maybe 2-3 years younger than me,
He's gonna check that. He's gonna go.
the prevailing thought is that he will recover quicker than I will from this fight choreography. That is such a load of truth. I'm 55. He could be my son. In fact, he looks very familiar, and I was traveling around Ireland at the time. It's not out of the question.
His face, stomach, face. Go to
Yep. This thing. Face, stomach, face.
It's stage fighting. It's like a ballet. You have to specifically know what's going to happen, because if one of us gets hurt, we've failed. We're going to be exhausted. We're going to be sweating. But to get hurt is not part of the plan. So we rehearse it and piecemeal it so that we know exactly where we're going.
No, then I go through. No, that's right. So let's do it again.
He's a great actor, but he's such a wicked character to have around. To be honest, I have to give it to him, to take my hat off to him. He's hilarious. He's got loads of funny bones. They're all over his body.
Even when you're faking getting hit, like by the end of the day, you're doing this 25, 50 times. Even though you're not getting hit, your neck feels like you got hit because you're doing the snaps the whole time. Oh, or the shots to the stomach and the rolling and the thing. Oh. It's fun, but this weekend there's going to be some massage table time for me.
He gave it loads. I was surprised. The old guy did all right. He really did. He brought his A game.
Bravo, Mark.
Ready?
Do the line?
Yes.
You didn't really think that would stop an invasion, did you?